My name is David Sloan, and I'm a ghost hunter. I started one of the first ghost tours in the United States back in 1996 in Key West, Florida. And now I run Haunted Key West Tours, which was just named one of the top 10 ghost hunts in the country. I have a little bit of a different approach to ghosts. I've been into them since I was a little kid. But instead of just going out and finding the ghosts, I like to research them, find out a bit about who the person is, and then I try to set these spirits free with the help of my friend.
Hi, I'm Cindy Plume. As David said, I'm the psychic medium that helps him when he goes on investigations or people have issues with spirits in their home or business. A psychic medium is a person that speaks with spirit, sometimes through their guides or through angels or just directly to the spirit. I have been doing this for probably 35 years, and I love doing it. I love helping people when they're struggling with spirits in their home.
Key West is one of the most haunted cities in the United States. So in the last 24 years, I've had a lot of bizarre things happen. One that stands out, it has to do with Robert the doll. And everybody's heard of Robert. He's probably the most haunted doll in the world. And when I first found out about him, I wasn't even looking for anything about the doll. I was looking for another ghost, and they told me, "Oh, you're here to talk about Robert." They took me up to the attic room where he used to live and told me a story. I got surrounded by this negative heat energy, and I felt like I was going to throw up if I didn't get out of there. I told the owner, I said, "Thanks for showing me, I got to go." We went downstairs, everything got better, and then I came to the Fort East Martello to see Robert, and he used to be locked in a back room. They brought him out, set him on a table, and the curator introduced me. She said, "Hey, Robert, this is David. He's going to take some photos of you." And I thought, she's a nut talking to this doll. And she set him down on the table, and I tell you, his face changed. The room filled with that same negative heat energy, and I was sure I was going to throw up again. I've had so many weird encounters with Robert. Some of them I'm going to save for later because you'd think I'm totally insane. But probably the coolest encounter I ever had in Key West, we used to go to this theater that was an old church, and it was abandoned. It was completely closed up. And we had about 30 people on the tour. We went up to the window, and somebody said, "What's that in the back?" And there was like this ball of cotton, or like this mist, and it started rolling towards us, and it started getting a little bigger, and a little bigger, and a little bigger. And then it came right up to the window, and it took on the image of a little girl. And she was completely transparent, wearing a little dress. And she didn't look at us, but she looked through us. And she just looked back and forth. And then she turned around and walked away and turned back into this ball of cotton and then disappeared. The weird thing was, only half of the group saw her. The other half couldn't. And that led me to my theory about why some people see ghosts and some people don't. People think I'm a little crazy with my ghost tours because, unlike other tours, I try to get rid of my main attraction. What I've always believed, I like going out there, I like seeing ghosts. I don't care a lot about documenting them, I like to encounter them. But then what I like to do is find out about them and find a way to set them free. I don't think spirits should be trapped. You tell some haunted locations this and they say, "No, that's our star, don't let it go." But I think it's very important. I mean, these were people at one time, and I don't think any of us would want to be trapped. What I started doing is studying different ways to move them along. And then, as luck would have it, I encountered a good friend in Key West. We became good friends from dealing with some stuff with Robert the doll. And she's got this ability to communicate with the spirits and to explain to them that they don't have to be stuck here, and to talk about ways they can go. So we started working together. With the nature of my business, I need to be skeptical. And one of the things that I sometimes laugh at is when people say, "Oh, a psychic told me this." But what I found, there's a lot of people who think they're psychic, but they're not. But then there's people who blow your mind sometimes. And my friend Cindy has proven herself again and again and again. We met when I was having problems with Robert, and I put a plea on Facebook. I said, "I'm dealing with an entity that I cannot handle, I need help." And she reached out and she called me, and she knew what was going on, and she helped me with things. And since then, she's helped a lot of my friends as well. And the great thing about Cindy, she doesn't do this for money. She does this to help, and she helps the community and she helps the spirits. She'll go to houses and she'll help people get rid of these things. And that's a big part of what we want to do, is help people.
One of the more interesting stories from Key West is David and I had gotten a call from a woman that had 2 children, and spirits were bothering both her and the kids. Actually, the spirit had pushed one of the children, and the child was really upset. So we went to the home and we helped the family to understand, first of all, who the spirit was in the home. And he wasn't dangerous, but he was playful. So initially we cleared the home, and then we helped him to cross over. To help a spirit cross over, sometimes you can't. Sometimes they don't want to go, and they have free will the same as anyone else. In this case, we were able to get him to cross over. The way that we go about doing that is I usually call on my guides and angels and ask them to assist in crossing. I explain to the spirit that they have free will and that they will be loved on the other side and meet with family. And so they know that it's a safe journey that they're about to take. With that, then I ask the angels and guides to help them by taking their hand and helping them to cross to the other side into the light. Usually works, not always.
So Gene Otto gave Robert his name, and whenever Gene got in trouble for the things kids get in trouble for, he'd say, "I didn't do it, Robert did it." Now, he kept doing this through his life until he died. After he died, other people started coming in the house, and there was a plumber doing work in the attic where Robert was, and he was working on the plumbing, and he heard giggling coming from behind him.
Oh, wow.
He turned around. Robert had moved from one side of the room to the other.
Yeah.
One of the more bizarre stories in Key West history involves Elena de Hoyos. Count von Kassel fell in love with her. She died. He dug her up from her grave. He lived with her body for 7 years.
You're kidding me. Crazy.